Hey YouTube, it's me, Kenneth Ryan, and we're here with another episode of Talking About Stuff. This week's topic is going to be something that's actually happening over the course of this entire week. This week's topic is going to be National Anxiety and Depression Awareness Week. Or basically just anxiety and depression, because, it kind of spans over the course of the week. National Anxiety and Depression Awareness Week runs from May 3rd to May 9th this year, which I believe, if I check my calendar, it was this Sunday through this coming Saturday. And the purpose of it is to, raise awareness of anxiety disorders and depression and stuff like that. This video I know is coming out on Wednesday, which is May, I believe, 6th. Yeah, it's May 6th. So we're kind of halfway through that, and I'm sorry to those of you who didn't know about this earlier, but you still have like the last 3-4 days of this week to get involved or whatever, and, let's worry about our mental health, kids, because it's important. It really is. In terms of talking about anxiety, I really don't have much from personal experience I can talk about. I get, stage fright being on stage, but, I get over it, because I do, just wanting to be an actor, doing stuff like that, I've gotten over it. I used to be very, scared of social speaking, and that was one of the reasons that held me back from doing YouTube for a long time, was just being afraid of putting myself out there and thinking about what people think. And then I graduated high school, and all of a sudden life was just like, why do I care, right? So I don't really think that was anxiety. It might have been. Someone who knows more than me, please tell me, because I forgot to preface this, but I am not an expert by any means. I'm not a doctor. I was not raised by a doctor. The closest thing to the medical field I have in my family is a nurse, and I've never talked to my mom about depression or anxiety, really. Everything I sort of learned was through my school health class. And I don't even remember that class well enough to know how much we even touched up on, if we even did at all, to be completely honest. We did spend about a month and a half on sex ed, though, so, we got our priorities sorted, right? So I really don't know what to talk about in terms of anxiety, just because I don't really have any personal things really to draw from, except for, talking to people that can sometimes feel a little stressful, but I feel like it's that way with everyone, and, as much as I hate answering the phone, I still do, because it's kind of part of my job I have, and you just kind of, I just kind of get over that stuff, so I don't think it's anxiety, because I feel, and maybe my understanding of anxiety is wrong, because anxiety to me has always meant, it kind of cripples you, to the point where, you just can't do something because it just makes you that anxious. I know that it's not, a set-in-stone thing, that there is a spectrum, so maybe what I am describing for myself does count as a very minor form of anxiety, but I don't really understand anything that's towards, the major side of that. I would have to talk to some of my friends who I know are kind of over in that area or something. What I do know, and what I do have experience with, is depression, and I can definitely talk about that for a while, so that's really what this video is going to focus on. So I'm going to talk to you about my depression that I've dealt with, and sort of, just kind of talk about it, because that's what the show's about. So when I first really noticed it was once the college year had started and all of my friends had gone off to school, and it was just me in this town of 3,000 people with nothing to do and a job that I didn't enjoy in the slightest, and life sort of just, over the course of months and months of this, just sort of started spiraling out of control, and I didn't know what I wanted from my life. I still, to be completely honest, I still am not 100% sure where the hell my life's going. That said, life just sort of spiraled out of control, and I felt just sad all the time, and I just wasn't happy, and life became, going through the motions, which actually, I'm going to tie in my favorite TV show of all time. I'm going to tie in Buffy the Vampire Slayer into this, because the main focus of season 6 of that show was depression. And when I first watched through that show, don't fall. That's very rude when I'm recording. When I first started watching that show, which I think was about 3 years ago now, so I remember I was a sophomore in high school, so 15, yeah, so it was about 3 years ago, I was 15. When I first watched through the show, I watched it, I binge watched it over the course of a month with my good friend Lindsay, who's appeared in pretty much all of my scripted works because I don't have a big group of friends to draw from. Fun fact about that. When we got to season 6, I thought it was just annoying, because I wasn't depressed at the time. I had never really experienced anything quite like that, and I was just like, oh, why are they so whiny? Why don't they just get over it? Because I was dumb and in high school, and I've grown up a lot in 3 years. And I've just rewatched through the show. I actually just finished the show for a second time about a week ago. And when I was watching season 6, having been going through that, and actually at the time that I was watching season 6, I was still like in a really bad spot. I'm much better now, but I was still in like a really bad spot. And I was just like, this is one of the most relatable seasons of this show. I watched through this and I'm like, what she's describing and what they're all feeling, I understand now because I've been going through this. And obviously I don't have superpowers and I'm not fighting the forces of darkness, but like I've got my own demons or whatever, and so does everyone else. And just watching that, and I had a whole new appreciation for that season. I believe there's a quote that Buffy says to Spike at some point over the course of the season where she says something along the lines of, I was going to pull it up, but I'm not going to be able to find it in a reasonable time, but it's something along the lines of like, I feel like I'm spending all of my time pretending that I'm okay so that they don't worry, they being, her friends. And I was just like, man, that quote is probably one of the truest things I have ever heard. I'm laughing now because, like, I treat my life like it's a joke, even though I shouldn't, but, like, man, that quote hit me right in the heart. You don't see it, but I'm hitting my heart with my finger. I'm just tapping it. And like, hey, buddy. This video is supposed to be serious. Oh my god. So that quote was just like, wow. My life's been described over the course of one quote. Because that's something that I do. I've done my whole life. Is like something's bothering me. I'm just like, no, dude, everything's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And, I ignore it and move on with my life, and everything continues as it always has, because it's fine. When I was really bad, I'd be like, oh, it's fine. I mean, I would confide in a couple people that things were terrible and awful, and then they'd feel terrible and awful because they couldn't do anything to help me, and it was just a mess. And so then I kind of just stopped telling people things because it's like, I don't want them to feel bad. They have got their own problems, and they don't need to worry about mine. And so that went on until it got really, 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 really bad. And once that happened, once I hit like the really lowest point I ever hit, that's when I really decided, things need to change. And basically, I figured out what was making me so miserable, and I got rid of it from my life. And then I spent 2 months in a recovery period, pretty much, where I was just like, let's do what I want to do. Let's not worry about anything else, really. And I know that's kind of selfish, but it helped me get through what I needed to get through. And I'm definitely not going to say that I'm cured, because I'm not. I think that my depression is always going to be there. There's just going to be days where it's worse than others. Like, today's a good day. I don't really feel anything. Tomorrow, probably going to be a good day. I've got my spirits pretty high right now because things are kind of falling in place for a lot of things that I want to do come summertime, which are going to be working on this channel and going to be making money to go pursue life interests and whatever. So I'm kind of excited. My life's going in a direction finally. I finally feel like I'm moving forward, because a lot of what I think had caused it was I felt like I was standing still in life, whereas everyone else was moving forward. And I was like, I'm never going to catch up. Now I kind of feel like, hey, I'm making forward momentum, and it feels nice to have that, and, just feel like my life is going forward. So I don't know if that was even relevant. I probably should have said at the start of this video that what helped me, there's no guarantee it's going to help you, and, you kind of know what works best for you. You can try what I say, but that doesn't mean it's going to work, because we're different people and different things work for us. Because, our brains are wired differently, as weird as saying your brains are wired are. I'm pretty sure that's how it actually is, with like neuropaths or something. I don't remember. I took biology freshman year of high school, and that's the last time I ever taken a biology course, so I don't know anything about anatomy. I really don't have a whole lot else that I really can talk about. God, why? Why? The video stopped recording. So we're gonna have to do this. Okay, so the video just stopped recording again, so welcome to technical difficulty sound again. I really don't think I have much else that I can talk about, because, I don't feel comfortable really trying to give too much advice, because I'm not an expert, and I don't want to accidentally be like, hey, this worked for me, and then someone tries it, and it just makes them worse. Worse off than they were before, and I don't want that responsibility on my shoulders, to be completely honest. I will say that I'm completely open to talk about this stuff. Like, if you do want advice and you want it in more of a one-on-one manner, feel free to contact me. If we are Facebook friends, you can contact me there. That'd probably be the easiest way. If you follow me on Twitter, I guess, does Twitter do a messaging system? I don't know, but if it does, you can do it there. If you follow me on Tumblr, you can use the Tumblr messaging system. Whatever way works best for you, we can try and work out some sort of one-on-one advice thing, but know that I'm not an expert, and that, like I keep saying, what works for me is not guaranteed to work for you, so I cannot guarantee results. Other than that, I advise everyone to do some research on anxiety and depression, because it is, National Anxiety Depression Awareness Week. So educate yourself a little bit, understand it a little bit more, take a few minutes of your free time to read an article about it. Make yourself more aware of what these things are, and then understand a bit more what you can do to work with people who have depression and anxiety, or work with yourself, if you find you're starting to feel these symptoms, because maybe you don't even know that you have an acute version of this stuff. Like, you don't know that. But then you read an article, you're like, hey, maybe I am, slightly depressed or something. I don't know. But, I don't know, just do something for this week and see what you can find out and educate yourself a little bit, I guess. And like I said, my messaging is open. And if you have anything you would like me to talk about, please feel free to leave it down below. I will read through them and I'll probably get to it. And be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. And just let me know what you think. Otherwise, I will see you next week with another episode of Talking About Stuff, when we'll talk about something else, and we'll see just what happens to be the topic. Until then, I'm gonna leave you with a wonderful little goodbye. So, bye. I'm rooting for you, kiddos. Stay awesome.